Hi, Ray. How you doing? Aloha. There you go. Welcome, Ray. How you doing? Now you want that band on the very top of your head, just like that. He's going to hold up the goggles, and if you hang on to him, he's going to pull the strap over the top of everything. There you go. That's perfect. All righty. First time in a helicopter? All right, my first time. No, I've been flying these a long time. And now we've got Rebecca next to you. Have you been in a helicopter with the doors off before? Oh, you're going to love this. Yeah, Ray, it's a lot of fun. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome, I'm Steve. Nice to meet you. And now Rob is going to hold up the goggles for you. And you want to stick them on your face and just hold them there a second, and he's going to pull the straps over the top of everything. How's that? Pretty good? All right. Edgar jumping on board. It is a gorgeous day out there. Of course, it's Kauai. The worst possible day is fantastic. It's hard to have a bad day here. You almost have to work at it. It just doesn't happen on its own. All right. Welcome, Edgar. Mucho gusto. Good to have you on board. I'm Steve, and if you hold those goggles up for a second, Edgar, he's going to pull the strap over the top of everything. All right. Okay, Natalie and Georgia coming. There we go. Georgia will be right next to you. You're in the windy seat, Edgar. You get to feel most of that breeze back there. Welcome, Georgia. How you doing? I'm Steve. Nice to meet you. If you hold those goggles in place for a second, he's going to pull the strap over the top of everything. Then we have Natalie on board, and then Kyle. All right. I know everyone's been briefed already, so that kind of expedites things along. Welcome, Natalie. How you doing? Now, Natalie, Rob's going to put the goggles there. If you hold them in place, he's going to pull the straps over the top of everything. There you go. How's that? Pretty good? Perfect. All right. And Kyle jumping on board. You might notice I'm the only one with a microphone on board. It does make it a one-sided conversation, but hey, it's the only time in life I get to have one. When I go home, my wife does all the talking, and I do this as fast and furious as possible. Yeah, they say you can tell how old a tree is by counting the rings of the tree. I say you can tell how long I've been married by the neck muscles. Look at all that definition. We're talking ribs, years of working out. If while flying, if you see my mouth move and don't hear me, that's me on the radios, just talking outside to air traffic control and other helicopters. And the rest of the time, I'll share about Kauai. If you see my mouth moving and don't hear me, that's me on the radios talking with air traffic control and other aircraft flying around. All right, how's it going, Kyle? Now, since Kyle and Edgar are on the wind seats to catch most of the wind breeze, we don't want to stick arms or legs out into this airflow. In a car at 60, it'll yank your arm back. In a helicopter, you can dislocate your shoulder. If you stick your leg out, you can pop it right out of joint. So we don't want to do any of that. If you're taking pictures, you want to move your camera inside the airflow, not into it, because the camera can come right out and right into your face really hard, so we don't want to do that. Yeah, I've been flying over 34 years in Hawaii. I've got over 31,000 hours here flying tours. Before for the military, which got me to Hawaii when General Noriega tried to kill me September 17, 1987, and failed. He went to prison. I went to Hawaii. Let's say we're even. So let's go have some fun. Just waiting for one aircraft over here. Just like that, we reach our initial cruising altitude. I guess I can open my eyes now. How's the view, Kyle? Welcome to the beautiful Garden Isle. The first thing you'll notice is even when we're turning, our gravity is still pulling straight up and down. So you wouldn't feel like you're being pulled outside at any time. And the main shipping harbor ahead, the Willy Willy. It's named for the Willy Willy tree, the false sandalwood tree. Once grew abundantly here. There's a couple real nice places to go eat on the side. That large building on the cliffs is Timbers, where you'll find a restaurant called Hualani. The food is off the chart. It is delicious. My wife and I's favorite place to eat is right there. And while you're dining, you look across infinity pools to the ocean. In whale season, you'll see whales breach in the background. You'll see the ships go in and out, aircraft landing. It's just a great spot. And another great spot is Duke's, named by Duke Ka'anamoku, famous Hawaiian surfer, gold medal Olympic swimmer. It's to the right of the Marriott. Duke is the one who got the whole surfing thing started around the world. Even the hors d'oeuvres are good there. They have a crab, cream cheese, macadamia nut, wonton with mustard plum dipping sauce. That's like doing CPR to your taste buds. Plus the calamari I love over there. I may have just talked myself into lunch there. In the back of the Willy Willy's, the Kipu Stream. That might look familiar if you saw Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Remember Harrison Ford running out of the woods being chased, telling the pilot of the seaplane, "Jock, start the engine." That was filmed here along the Kipu Stream. That was actually one of Harrison Ford's own airplanes. You got to play the right music. Harrison Ford loves Kauai. He also shot the movie here, 6 Days and 7 Nights. Now to your left over the ridge, you'll see a beach. Most of 6 Days and 7 Nights was filmed on the beach. And the Kipu Ranch is a fun place down below us. They have ATV rides. They have zip lines. The longest, fastest zip line ride in Hawaii is here. You get up to 60 miles an hour for up to a minute and a half. I actually heard the longest continuous high-pitched scream that I've ever heard. It was coming from the zip line. It was me. A little more excitement than I was used to. And on the shore, has anyone been to Poipu? The Grand Hyatt's over there, the Sheraton, Brennickey's, Hula Grill, Spouting Horn. If you like sushi, you might want to go to the Grand Hyatt Stevenson's Library Restaurant. It is so popular, make an early reservation. That place fills up faster than any other place I know. One thing you miss driving that way is the Waita Reservoir. Wai is Hawaiian for water. Ta is Japanese for rice. That was built as a rice paddy for workers from Japan working Koloa Sugar Mill. Built back in 1831, it was the first sugar mill in Hawaii. And if you look around at all the green grassy fields you see everywhere, this was all sugar cane at one time. And just over the ridge is the Tunnel of Trees. It's a tunnel of eucalyptus trees that were planted by Valdemar Knudsen in 1863. Eucalyptus is from Australia. But we have a much more popular tree from Australia here, the macadamia nut tree. Anyone like mac nuts? 80 calories a nut before the chocolate goes on top. 1,000 calories a handful. Thanks a lot, Steve. Now, it turns out mac nuts contain palmitoleic acid, which increases metabolism, and it's good for the heart and liver. I say, eat all the mac nuts you can eat. You're doing the body good, so they are good for you. Now, if you drive along the shore towards Port Allen, you might want to stop and visit Kauai Coffee Company. They have an excellent tour, and they're very generous with their free samples. You will not sleep for days visiting that place. Even the cookies have coffee in it. Much to the surprise of parents who tell their children, oh, no, you're too young for those coffee samples. Here, have some cookies instead. Instantly turning their children into the Flash. That's all it takes, caffeine and sugar. All right, Ray, ready for your first flying lesson? I'm going to put my thumb like this. You see with my right hand how I grab this control? Grab my thumb the same way. Okay, let's switch hands. Let's go with your right hand. There you go. Now look straight ahead, Ray. Move my thumb to the right a little bit. Nice job. All right, move my thumb to the left a little bit. You are flying this thing, Ray. When you want to climb higher, just pull towards you a little. There goes the nose up. We climb. And when you want to descend, you push forward. What do you think? Piece of cake? High five. All right. You did way better than I did my first time. I'm looking out for the future generations that's going to replace me. And we head into Hanapepe so we can check out the waterfalls you've seen in Jurassic Park. Remember the first Jurassic Park film? They show the helicopter land in front of waterfalls. Well, the waterfall is over on Kyle's side first. right, there you go. Coming around Ray, Rebecca, Georgia, and Edgar. You'll have a good view on your side now. I call this timeshare. I think from now on we're going to call this the beautiful Natalie Falls. It's got a nice ring to it. There you go, Natalie. You got your own waterfalls named after you on Kauai now. And if you watch Jurassic Park with friends, you can say, yep, that's my waterfall. And our Kahili Falls ahead. Imagine exchanging or renewing wedding vows in a helicopter in front of waterfalls. It just so happens I'm also licensed to perform aerial weddings and renew vows for couples in places like this. What couples like, it's beautiful and, well, they know they're coming back married. Only two choices available out here. I do or Geronimo. More pressure. I've yet to see cold feet. I've seen cold sweat. Ever hear of a show on TV called The Bachelorette? I was the one flying Jillian and Reed around Maui for the finale episode. I spent the entire day with that couple. I saw absolutely no reality whatsoever. They didn't even talk to each other unless the camera was on. It gets worse. They were being told what to talk about before they said it. I know. Isn't reality supposed to be somewhere in there? So I added some. I went by a waterfall, turned and mentioned I could perform an aerial wedding. Reed froze up like a deer in the headlights. Poor guy. Thought he was getting hitched. It turned out no. He was getting ditched shortly after landing. Yep, not much reality in some of these reality shows. Welcome to the desert. Cactus growing everywhere, scorpions crawling across the dirt. Less than 12 inches of annual rainfall. Yet, 10 miles to the right, Mount Waialeale gets up to 500 inches of annual rain. So you really can pick and choose your favorite climate by knowing the wind direction. Windward sides are wet, leeward sides very dry. Offshore of the island Niihau, privately owned by the Robinson family, who are descendants of Elizabeth Sinclair, who bought Niihau from Kamehameha III back in 1864 for $10,000 gold. How's that for a deal? Now, buying an island's a little more pricey nowadays. Larry Ellison bought Lanai recently from Rupert Murdoch and paid $350 million for it. And on the shore, you can see the river in town, Waimea. That's where Captain James Cook became the first Westerner to set foot on Hawaiian soil, January 16, 1778. There was a coincidence. When Captain Cook arrived, Hawaiians were celebrating makahiki. They would take big square pieces of tapa cloth, attach it to wooden poles, and parade clockwise around the shore to announce the coming of Lono from the sea. Well, here comes two ships, Discovery and Resolution, clockwise around the shore, big square sails on their wooden mast poles. Hawaiians thought Captain Cook was Lono. When they found out he wasn't, they killed him on the spot. He died February 14, 1779 on the Big Island. Valentine's Day for us, bad day for Captain Cook. And you notice all the red dirt? That's the oxidized iron in the soil. They dye t-shirts with it, red dirt shirts. It also dyes the water red. Waimea, translated, means red water. It was something that would inspire Samuel Clemens, better known as Mark Twain. In 1866, he was on the ridge to our left, on the back of a horse looking this way. He called this the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. And then returning home, he'd write, I now know a place where the smell of the flowers blow across the sea, and though I might sit over 1,000 miles away, I can never forget this beautiful place where waters deep and red still stir my imagination. Stirring anyone's imagination? Sorry about that. Just talking to all this traffic. You can see an airplane, 2 helicopters, the third one down below. It gets busy out here sometimes. And the point on the ridge ahead is called Pu'ukapeli. Hawaiians believed if you stood here and shouted, your voice would be heard on Oahu. So, not wanting to break tradition, Hawaii Telecom put a microwave link between Oahu and Kauai on the same spot. They really stick with what works. On the shore is the Pacific Missile Range facility, Barking Sands. My son's a fireman down there. That's a good job for him, good benefits. He also owns a CrossFit gym, stays in excellent shape. It's convenient. When I need a workout, it's only a phone call. Hey son, can you work out for me again today? Great, thanks. I know I must get some benefit. And when you drive around the shore on this side, the farthest you go is Polihali Beach. There are no roads that go all the way around Kauai. So that's as far as you can go. And we see the domes of the tracking station where they track missiles they launch. Recently, it was supposed to track Elon Musk's new rocket. The Super Heavy with 33 Raptors was supposed to push Starship 90 minutes around the Earth and splash down off Kauai. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to see the re-entry burn, hear the sonic boom, see the splash. Instead, I got to see the world's largest Roman candle. Yeah, but they were expecting that. Maybe the next one should be June, July time frame. And we see the domes of the tracking station. NASA's tracking station is uphill to our right. Big dish pointed straight up. That was built for the Apollo program, tracking astronauts to and from the moon. And we're going to change scenery again. Now this is one of my favorite changes in scenery going around Kauai. Because just up ahead, the ground is going to vanish underneath us for 3,000 feet. As we get to the beautiful Nepali coast. Nepali means the cliff. And just another day here in paradise. Here in paradise, where everybody is feeling awesome now. Instantly, we see why this was chosen as the backdrop for scenes in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. When they filmed Jurassic World, my daughter took Chris Pratt hunting on Kauai. I found out he was discovered on Oahu while working as a waiter at Bubba Gump. Oh yeah, there's hope for all of us. And this valley coming up is called Honopu. Honopu means turtle head. And we'll actually see what looks like a turtle sticking its head out of his shell. There's an archway under the neck of the turtle head. And if you saw King Kong starring Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges, they walked through the archway in the movie together. Let's take a turn here. All right, there you go, Edgar. Got a real nice shot to your left-hand side. There you go, Rebecca. You can see that. Natalie can see that. Ray. Now it's your turn. If you wanted to hike this far out, your car would be 11 miles straight ahead, making it a 22-mile hike, 11 out, 11 back. I've never done that. I never will. That's just a little too far for me, by about 11 miles. And the large valley ahead is the Kalalau Valley. These are the Kalalau Cathedrals. If you drive around Waimea all the way to the road end, you'll be in the back at the top at a beautiful lookout point. No hiking required for the view. That's more my speed. But you don't want to go swim off to Pali. We have the strongest rip currents in Hawaii here. People have been rescued as far as 1.5 miles offshore. What we're about to say. During the winter months, this is a perfect spot for whale watching. But you still can see humpback whales in Hawaii if you visit Maui. Has anyone been to Maui? Here today, gone to Maui. Did you visit the Maui Ocean Center, Rebecca? Did you go inside the whale dome when you put the 3D glasses on? Isn't that awesome? What'd you think of that, Kyle? Wasn't that great? It's like you're underwater with 40-ton whales swimming around you. And it's educational, too. I learned something about the whales I didn't know. They said if you had actually been in the water that close to humpback whales, the sound waves would knock a human unconscious. I didn't know they could do that. The first beach you can hike to over here on Kauai. Not too bad. That's a couple miles out, couple miles back to your car. What you always do is check the weather before committing to going down from Prince Hill to Honolulu. Because once you cross Honolulu Bridge, if it rains heavily, they close the bridge. And now you get to sleep in your car instead of that very expensive room. So always check the weather. And plus flash flooding occurs. You can get washed right out of these valleys. And you see all the points on the ridge ahead? The point at the very end, that might look familiar. If you like musicals, that point at the end is the Bali High from the South Pacific. Filmed in 1956, still one of the favorite musicals of all time. At the base of the Bali High is as far as you drive on this side of Kauai. Now, if you notice, you can actually look all the way to the bottom here, and you'll notice the difference in coloration on the bottom. That's the difference between coral and coral sand, which are produced by parrotfish that vigorously chomp away on coral 24/7, digesting it in the little pebbles at an amazing rate of speed. In 1 year, one parrotfish can produce about 1 ton of coral sand. Next time you're basking in the sun, laying on a beautiful Hawaiian beach, now you know. You're laying in fish poo, which is sterile and clean, just way too much information. And since this is the northernmost shore of the Hawaiian archipelago, we do get some very strong currents. And it churns up that coral sand occasionally. So there's a couple rules here. The number one rule, never swim without a lifeguard on site, right there on duty. And number two to that is never go in the water if it's cloudy. That's when sharks go hunting. Ever see the movie Soul Surfer? The story of Bethany Hamilton. This is where Bethany lost her arm to a shark in cloudy water. Sharks have electric sensors around their mouth, detecting electric impulses given off between muscle and brain. As far as a shark's concerned, a person swimming in cloudy water is a monk seal, one of their favorite foods. A person on a surfboard or bodyboard is a sea turtle. But they always verify by a little chomp. Most shark attacks are taste tests in cloudy water. And the point that sticks out in the distance straight ahead is the Killer Whale Lighthouse. It's a bird sanctuary. You'll find Laysan albatross, frigate birds with 7-foot wingspan, wedge-tailed shearwaters, white-tailed tropic birds. And Lumahai Beach is where Mitzi Gaynor was going to wash that man right out of her hair in the South Pacific. And you see the Hanalei Bay. Hana means place. Hanalei, the place shaped like a flower glade. Growing around Hanalei, what looks like rice paddies, is taro. That's a starch, like a potato. They boil it and then pound it down into poi. Anyone sampled some delicious poi? If you go to a luau, it's served in a bowl in the front of your plate. You're supposed to eat it with a spoon or fingers. You can always hang wallpaper with it. Mix it with pancake batter, makes a delicious pancake, though. Lily koi syrup on a poi pancake is a winner. And we're just going into lychee season right now, so if you drive around and see signs lychee for sale, it's a little fruit like a grape, only a little larger, and you just peel the skin off and eat the fruit around the seed. It is wonderful. So sweet. There's also the Hanalei River that curves around a patch of green, that's a bison ranch. We had a flood 2016. Some of the bison escaped. That's not all been captured, so you're not going to see me hike anywhere out here. Imagine bumping into a 1,500-pound bison who thinks you're trying to take it back to that ranch. Yeah, it could be a little bit aggressive. And this is Mount Namolokama. Namolokama means weaved together and tightly pulled. Well, it's likely named from all the waterfalls that come down looking like they're weaved into a single stream that pulls them down to the ocean. How would you like to go fishing in waterfalls? Here you actually could. There's an unusual fish found in these falls that's called O'opu. Opu means belly. It's got a suction cup on its belly, allowing it to cling to the rocks and work its way up the falls. It's considered a delicacy here. And if you go to the fish market, they sell a Opu up to $35 a pound, making it the most expensive catfish you will ever try, which is what it tastes like. Easy to see the wet side of the island. Compare this to the desert we were in earlier, and here we see the air being pushed up the mountains, expanding and cooling the dew point where the clouds condense and rains out all the moisture. You can also see the Honolulu River down below. And you notice the trees near the river with a bright green leaf? That's the state tree, kukui nut. Kukui means light or candle. The Hawaiians would burn the nut like candles. I'm wearing kukui nut as a lei right now. Plus the oil that's in the shell with the beauty product. It would keep hair shiny, skin smooth. It's fragrant. That would be perfume. It's also edible. I wouldn't recommend eating any. If you eat kukui nut, you will make the most amazing discovery that you just ate the world's strongest laxative. One nut, you're walking fast. 2 nuts, you break into a trot. By 3, you're setting a new land speed record to a guava tree. It turns out guava is the only antidote for kukui nut in the wild. So if you find one of those trees, you'll find the other. They seem to always grow within 100 yards of each other. I think the 100-yard dash was invented right here in Hawaii. There's waterfalls everywhere you look. You miss out on 70% of Kauai driving around Kauai. You'll only see this flying around. Now, a long time ago, once a year, Hawaiians would climb to the top of this ridge, and then they'd continue climbing to the top of Mount Waialeale. The first who ever made it found a pond up there on top, and they saw the winds rippling the waters. Waialeale means the rippling waters. That's how it got its name. It is a treacherous climb. There are places here you can slip and drop 700 to 1,000 feet. Ever been inside a volcano before? We're about to. Now, if you go to the Big Island, you can visit the crater of Halima'uma'u in Volcano Park. Get to see lava going in there. This is an extinct volcano. This will never erupt again. Now, it's too far from the hot spot, which is beneath the Big Island. From West Maui all the way to Pu'ukukui, from there all the way to the Kuri Atoll are all extinct volcanoes. They will never erupt again. Then you cross Maui to Haleakala, that's dormant. Then cross to the Big Island, you go from dormant to active. And let's take a trip inside the volcano of Waialeale. The top is 5,148 feet above sea level. And inside the crater are 4,000-foot cliff walls. And because of the cliff walls, it creates an illusion. As we go inside, we start to lose our peripheral view, and everything will seem much closer than it actually is. We're never closer than 300 feet. It just feels like it. See the water coming through the mountain in the back? Probably the only place I'd consider drinking water from the source. Wasn't that amazing? Don't you just feel sorry for poor Steve having to fly around like this all day? I don't get much sympathy in this job. And from here, when you look to the ocean straight ahead, you'll see a ridge with a point in the middle. That begins the outline of the sleeping giant. That point is his forehead. It goes down left to his chin sticking up, left to his chest where his arms are folded, down to the hips, and the legs straight out. The legend is he ate too much poi, laid down there to sleep it off. He's been there ever since. Today we call it Hawaiian paralysis, which you get to experience firsthand at a good Hawaii luau. The object at a luau is don't eat till you're full, eat till you pass out. It's the highest compliment to a chef in Hawaii. And just up ahead, we can start to see green grassy fields. This used to be all sugarcane. As we get closer, you'll see it's actually grazing area for cattle. Cows have a strange name here. In Hawaii, cows are called pipis because the first cows were longhorns. They were brought as gifts to Kamehameha from George Vancouver in 1793. The same George Vancouver, British Columbia is named after. Now, prior to that, and still today, are pigs that roam the islands. Hawaiians call pigs pua'a. When they saw longhorns for the first time, they were called pua'a pipi auhau, or pigs with big iron ears. Over time, slowly reduced down to just simply pipi. Cows are pipis in Hawaii. Cowboys are paniolos. Our first cowboys were from Mexico, vaqueros. Best cowboys in the world came to teach Hawaiians how to handle these new animals that were on the island. The Hawaiians couldn't pronounce the first word they were taught, Espanol. There's no ES pronunciation. They kept saying paniola. The name stuck. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shot the movie Jungle Cruise. Most of the movie shot in this pond. He's the coolest guy. When he wasn't shooting, he'd come over to the road and just wave to people driving by. If you stopped, he'd sign autographs, take pictures with you. Real nice guy. Years ago on TV, there was a show called Fantasy Island, starring Ricardo Montalban and Hervé Valencia. In the opening scene, they would always show a beautiful waterfall. Then they'd show an airplane fly by, and Tattoo would look up and go, "That plane, that plane." Well, the waterfalls is the one to your left, the Wailua Falls. Amazing, isn't it? Here, let me swing that view around for you. All right, Kyle. Natalie, you'll have a good view to your right side. Timeshare. Everybody gets a view. You can drive out here from Honolulu town. Not too bad. Always sad to look up and see the airport getting closer. It does let us know we're on our way back to where we started. Hawaiians have an expression. They say, "Wahala nakapuna ahe eki koreoreu, vala nako ke iala, inameya ike awe, hopilalo iyo kikilo." Translated, the ancestors of Hawaii have long since passed on. Today's people see a glimpse of that time long ago and far behind. And I really enjoyed being the one to share a glimpse of that with you. I like to think everyone goes from friendship to family in one flight. Look how fast my family grows. But please recommend Air Kauai to family and friends. It's our best advertising. We're also on Maui as Air Maui. You get over there. And when you're home, you can tell everybody, "Hey, we found out on Kauai we have a new relative we never met before. His name's Steve. He's flying helicopters over there." It's a rough job. And Louis Armstrong going to sing us home. He always does it best.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And
Now we see the Kauai Beach Resort, Honolulu Bay. You really don't want to swim in Honolulu. The water's a bit polluted from the drainage from the community upslope from it. And we just want to stay buckled up all the way till we touch down. After we land, our folks will come out, open the doors, get you safely outside. Always exit to the front, never to the rear. The tail rotor spins so fast it's invisible. Everyone have a good time? Am I spoiled? Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Most difficult part of my day, that's the part I try to convince my wife I had a rough day at the office. She's not buying it.
also on the faces of people going by, I see friends shaking hands, saying how they did.
Wouldn't it be amazing if we could time it to land right when Louis Armstrong finishes the song? Aloha, mahalo, and ahui ho malamapono. Please take care of yourselves until the next time we meet.
And I never knew, and I think to myself, What a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself,
Timing's everything.
what a wonderful world.
Did we land yet? So hard to tell. Have a wonderful vacation. Cassie's coming out with Rob to give a hand. And all it's going to take is just a little lift on the buckle clasp to release you from our safety belts. Also, if you wouldn't mind grabbing the goggle headband and pulling it off the headsets from the back forward, that will make it easier to pull off the headsets. And then up front, Rebecca and Ray, I can grab those headsets afterwards. And that will be perfect. Just like that.